My dad would say, "Oh, and let me be real clear. We have, you don't." That's
Mhm.
what he would
Mhm.
tell me. So I look at my own life growing up, and I was given pretty much everything. But my parents were like, "Oh no, you're gonna get a job.
Mhm.
You're gonna see what it's like to work, right? Like we're not gonna keep giving you everything. You're gonna have an understanding of what it's like to work, what it's like to spend your own money, what it's
Mhm.
like to save your money, and what it's like to do the chores in the household, right? Like you're gonna have to still know this stuff to create a balanced person."
Mhm.
And my dad would say, "Oh, and let me be real clear. We have, you don't." That's
Mhm.
what he would
Mhm.
tell me. We have, you don't. You're not there. So I don't want you to think that you are entitled to all of
Mhm.
this, right? And so, and then my dad would go on and on and on telling me all his horror stories growing up and all that kind of stuff. And so it would get to the point where you could repeat the story, like that's how well you knew the story. But I think that's how it has to be, a healthy balance. It has to be.
I agree. Marlo, we talked about social media and a little bit. We touched on social media a little bit. And I would say, obviously, we know that social media is not real life. But for children who have grown up in social media and they don't know anything else. The thing about a millennial is that we know what it's like to live without the internet. We know what it's like to live with the internet. So it's been a really interesting, which is a really it's a really interesting generation to be in. But for those children that aren't aware that real what life is like outside and just being outside and not worried about having a phone in your hand and comparisons and what people have and flexing and flossing and all these things. What would you say, like, how do you manage that, right? When there is a part of their reality that is that's etched into this thing that we're all on right now called the internet.